I'm here. Hi, guys. It is me. It is Natalie Diaz. Thank you so much for your patience today. It has been a wild and crazy ride, but unfortunately, we had a tiny bit of technical difficulty, and I just want to say a very humble thank you for putting up with the patient or patiently waiting for this discussion to begin. Today, we are here live in New York City, and we are going to be talking about different strategies and tips to get your kids to sleep through the night. Hey, Kimmy. So I see that you guys are joining us. We have a lot to talk about, a lot to give away. Julie is there with us. Kimmy is there with us. So the mom squad is in full attendance. And yep, we are here. So the rules of our Facebook chat today are, hey Liz, the rules of our Facebook chat today are basically that I am here to help you. Today's chat is sponsored by our friends at Naturepedic. So we're very, very thankful for them to give us this opportunity to talk to you about getting your kids to sleep. So I have my little trusty handy dandy computer that is here next to me that I will be able to not only see your questions live on this little screen in front of me, but I am able to go to our literal webpage to make sure that I am not missing anything. So if you see me look down, know that I am looking down because I don't want to miss any more of your questions. Rasheen is here, and Maureen, and Mercedes. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us once again. So we are kind of going to kick off the party, and I want to talk about a few different strategies that we have when it comes to getting your kids to sleep. So the first thing that I always like to do is I want to know how old your twinnies are. I always ask this, and I always want to do one of those like train your brain kind of thing, because I know a lot of you guys usually join us for our live Facebook feeds, and I wish that I could remember Caroline's kids are 7 months and Stacy's children are 9 months. I wish that I was able to remember all of that, but unfortunately I am not that good. So if you could just remind me. So Heather has 2-year-olds, Jennifer has 3.5-year-olds. Oh, look, see? Liz and Jen, you should make some friends. Hi, Jess. So everybody is joining, and I want to just kind of get a little bit of a consensus on how old your kids are so we know what kind of ages and stages that we are talking about. So let's get that together. And then we are going to say, I encourage you guys to start off with some questions. Right before this live feed began, I asked the mom squad, I said, hey guys, what are your best tips when it comes to getting your kids to sleep through the night? And it's funny because some of us still have trouble with our kiddies sleeping through the night. Stacy's expecting on Christmas babies, well, a few days after Christmas. So Christmas babies are always fun. I also have holiday babies. We have 9 years old. Well, 9 months old, Linda has. 5-year-olds, 2 years old. Hi, Christina. And you're due in March. Holy moly. This is going to be a great, great chat. Okay, so I am logging in to make sure that I don't miss any of your questions. And of course, sure enough, guess what my kids did? My kids used my computer for homework. And of course now I can't log in. What else is new to my Gmail account? So hopefully I'll be able to do that now. Okay, so what do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about starting a nighttime routine? Do we have some questions here? Heather has a question. My twins play around for like an hour before going to sleep, no matter what time I put them down. They sleep through the night, but they randomly wake up at 2 a.m. and then we do it all over again. Now, waking in the middle of the night is very, very common. So hold on, I wish that I could go back to that. Scroll down a little bit for Heather. Okay, so Heather, I wish that I remembered how old your twinnies were, because then I would be able to help you a little bit more. So Heather has twinnies that don't want to sleep through the night. So the number one thing that I would say is when you put them down, is this happening at nighttime? Is this happening at nap time? When exactly is this happening? So thumbs up to you guys too. So 2 years. All right. So when you put them down, Are you putting them down an hour before? Oh, Julie's already starting with the questions. Are you putting them down an hour before their normal bedtime, knowing in anticipation that they are going to be keeping themselves up? And then in the middle of the night, what kind of strategies are you putting into place to get them to go back to sleep? So let's talk about some basic sleep stuff, which is going to be helping pretty much everybody. So there's a few things that we could do, and this is definitely going to be a huge benefit to people that are expecting. Hey, Laura's in the house now too. So I have a dog here that is trying to get my attention. Betty Lou. Am I going to literally have to pet Betty Lou? Here, say hi, Betty Lou. So I'm literally going to have to pet Betty Lou through the entire feed because Betty Lou doesn't want to sleep through the night, but that's a whole different topic. So let's talk about creating a sleep routine and getting our kids to go to bed once and for all. So the first number one rule, consistency is key. Whatever you do for naps, I encourage you to do for bedtime. I know, a lot of different people have a lot of different philosophies on this. I am going to say what I prefer. Who I like to, if I say that you guys have to read some books when it comes to sleep, I would definitely look at Kim West's book. So Julie's going to give you a link to Kim West's book. And she is the literal sleep lady. And not only does she have great tips and tricks in the book, but she has a fantastic website. If you have used Kim, or if you've seen us have discussions with Kim before, I would love to see a little thumbs up, just so I know that you guys know all about her. So creating consistency and making sure that you have kind of like a little sleep ritual. Now, you guys know that there has to be ideal sleep conditions, right? So what are these ideal sleep conditions? Well, the first one is you have to have a dark room. For naps, for bedtime, for whenever, your room must be dark. Often people think, oh, now I have to make a giant investment into blackout shades or whatever. It's really not that complicated. All you have to do is, while this is the process while they're learning how to sleep. So all you basically have to do is you have to cover their windows. You could cover them with a black garbage bag with some duct tape. You could get the fancy blackout shades. Home Depot actually even sells specific material that is made to put on a window to block it out. So that's an option too. So you have to have, the first thing, of course, is a dark room. The second thing that you need is you have to have a cool temperature. Their room cannot be too warm, but it also at the same time shouldn't be too cold. It should be definitely, I would say, between 68 and 72 degrees is what your ideal temperature should be. You know, it's funny because often they are making, baby monitors that have a thermometer built in. So when you're shopping for a baby monitor, that may be something that you want to look for. However, I'll let you know that truthfully, you could get another thermometer, but just feeling what the room feels like on its own should be good enough. And then the third ideal sleep condition, yep. Hey, Hall. What are you doing over here? Holly, everybody. Let's give Holly a round of applause from Baby Gizmo. She's here with us today, and we have a lot of tricks up our sleeves, so you'll be seeing Holly and I very soon. But yes, the darker room, the better. I said perfectly black. Hall, if you have any tips to add in, please, please, please do. And also, Hall, if you could link over to your Facebook page as well, just so that our friends that are with us today find you guys. All right, you're just listening. You don't want to see my beautiful face? I won't be offended. So the other thing that you need is you need some kind of white noise. White noise could come in the way of a white noise machine. White noise could come in the way of an air conditioner, of a humidifier, anything. There's a lot of different things that create white noise, but you certainly do not need to go. Hi, Hal. I didn't do my makeup as nice as you usually do. So you do not need to spend $1 bazillion on a white noise machine, but you do need to make sure that you have some kind of white noise. So what has to happen is that when babies are in utero, often people think like, oh, the babies are home from the hospital. Could you see this dog foot that is here? Because this is really what's happening in my life, that there is a 80-pound dog who has Frito paws. This is really, guys, here. Let's just take, this is what the dog is doing as I'm sitting here. I don't think Holly has this problem with Gracie. But yes, thumbs up for little Betty Lou. All right, so yes, so white noise, the humidifier definitely works, and that's another thing that you want to take into consideration, okay? So the white noise machines that we like, I'm really a big fan of the products made by Cloud Bee. Julie could give you a link to the Cloud Bee website, but they have a sleep sheep and they have a lot of little animals, which is cool because it has a white noise machine inside of it. And then as soon as the babies get big enough and they don't need the white noise machine, you could take the machine out and you could use it as a tiny little lovey. All right, dog paws once again in the house. Now, with consistency, what do I mean by that? So if you have consistently this dark room, white noise, cool temperature, that's the first thing. So you're setting the stage for really good sleep. The next thing that you have to do is you have to come up with some kind of sleep routine. What is your routine? Is your routine that you are going to read them a book? Are you going to sing them a song? Are you going to, put on a mobile that projects some images onto the sky? What is your nighttime routine? Typically, people have kind of a different routine in the day than they do at night because they add the element of the bath in. And once you add the element of the bath in, you may want to add some aromatherapy or whatever you want to do, totally fine. But just be consistently. How old should a baby be to start this? Honestly, Tamara, I would start like now. There's no reason not to start creating this consistency and these nighttime routines as soon as your babies are home from the hospital. Often, the training isn't necessarily needed for the kids because the kids will know how to sleep. The training is needed for the parents. A lot of these things that you read on different websites and on different, even things that we talk about here, a lot of the kind of ritual is not only to help the children, but it's really to help the parent. And we could definitely talk more about that when we talk. There's a dog hair flying. Of course, now she jumped off. So we could talk more about that in a little bit when it comes to getting your kids to sleep. So bedtime, Daniela says that bedtime is always 8 o'clock. That means that they are done nursing and sleepy. So now, Daniela, I had a question. What time typically do they wake up? Right? Because if you look in our book, and if you need specific guidelines, Julie's going to send you over a link to our book. And in the book, literally lists out all the different things that you could do with a newborn and what the timeline is supposed to be, as well as what a timeline kind of looks like, a day in the life of your babies once they get a little bit bigger. Come on. See, so Daniela, typically a baby sleeps for 12 hours. So if you do from 7 p.m., you could do from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., but sometimes parents even do 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. It really depends on what your schedule is. But once you have those blackout shades in the room, you're pretty much, you're not limited to waking up when the sun comes up if it is truly, blackout shades. Okay, so another thing that I want to talk about routine is that it's an opportunity for you to get stuff done. Here's how this sounds crazy. If your routine is to put them in and to read them something, there's no reason that you have to read Goodnight Moon for the 700th time that night. The routine is pretty much, oh, they're only sleeping, babies are 7 weeks. Okay, so we're going to talk about newborn babies in a minute. But the routine is basically letting them hear your voice, not necessarily the words that are coming out of your mouth. So if you have to read something for work, or if you want to read something, bills, if you want to go over your taxes, as long as you are holding the paper and just reading it out loud to the babies, you could use that kind of as a little sneaky time to get some stuff done if you needed to look over something. Or you could just read Entertainment Weekly, because that is pretty much what we did here in the Diaz house. There is no reason why, oh God, you gotta be kidding me, dog. Dog, come up here. Come on, up. That's it. Just sit over there and be good. I don't know. She's like turning into Anna. Like, do you want to just do this with me? So, Betty, when you're tired, really, what do you want to do? What happens? Guys, the kids are in school. This is supposed to be like my quiet time with you. But Miss Betty Lou is really out of control today. All right. So, creating the routine, getting them drowsy but awake. You want to make sure that you are definitely paying attention to sleep cues as well. Now, this is not something that is easy to do with newborns, but it is something that's easier as they get older. You could start looking for sleep cues, and a yawn is actually too late of a sleep cue. You want to kind of look for the slow blink, or when you're seeing that they're really relaxed and they're just kind of getting drowsy. You want to take advantage of those moments and put them in their crib drowsy but awake. Okay, we have questions coming out of everywhere. I want to start getting to your questions, and we could start kind of adding things in as we go. But Julie's sending me so many questions. Okay. So, Linda says, how do you get them to go to sleep when they share a room? All they do is play in their room or fight. They're 6.5 years old. Now, I have good news. Jewel, if you could find it, we have an Ask Nat that's specifically about that. And I don't know if any of you have watched our Ask Nat videos, but this is basically a live Ask Nat opportunity. So, what you could do is when you have older children, and this definitely benefits everybody. I know that you guys think that sleep is an issue that happens earlier on, you know, that we have to like set these good routines, which we do. But you find that as they get older, the sleep issues change. And one thing that happens with twins when they are sharing a room is that every night turns into a slumber party. So I strongly encourage you to check out that link that we put on the side. And it's really fascinating because there's a lot of things that you could do. And when parents think like, oh, it's helpless, they're never going to sleep, there's a lot of things that you could do, like add in playtime. If you know that they're going to go to sleep, you know, if you know that it's sleep time and you know that they have trouble sleeping, you may want to say, okay, listen, I'm going to set this timer for 25 minutes. When the timer goes off, you really need to go to sleep. But there has to be a consequence, especially if they're 6.5 years old. Is it going to be a reward if they do good? Because you could do positive reinforcement, right? So you could say, listen, if you go to sleep, you'll get an extra 20 minutes of screen time this weekend, or you'll get to have that lollipop that you really wanted, or you'll get to pick the story tomorrow, or the person who goes to sleep the fastest will get to, you know, choose which side of the car they are going to sit on. Something. Find something that your twinnies love, because everybody has something different. Right now, it seems that the trend is going towards that everybody wants to have more screen time, right? It's a big issue. It's an issue that you are going to face if you have new kids or if you have older kids. It's something that typically we experienced when we were younger because we wanted to watch like Heathcliff or the Jetsons or whatever. Am I dating myself? But it's definitely more of an issue now than it ever was before. So the kids want to spend more time online, more time on their iPads. But there's a big topic that came up when Kim West and I were talking. We had a talk a few weeks ago, and she was saying that, you know, right before kids go to bed, they're looking on their little screens, whether it's an iPad or, you know, an iPhone or something, even if they're older and they're texting. But the light that radiates off of an iPad actually makes you not produce melatonin, because this light is like, wake up, Nat, wake up. It's time to get up, because it's like artificial light that's coming into their little brains. So you have to be very conservative when it comes to allowing your kids to have screen time right before they go to bed. Okay? All right. So that's one thing that I want to say. And that goes for adults too. Hold on. I'm sending Julie a message. Okay, so that is sending the message that it is not time to sleep. And this goes for you too. Like I always tell my husband reads a Kindle, but he's got that Kindle bright white or whatever, that it's actually projecting light into him. It should be total downtime at least an hour before you go to bed. It will help them sleep better. It'll have them a lot less wound up. Okay, so that's just something that I kind of side note. Now, we have another question that is coming in. How about tips for getting them to sleep longer in the morning, like 7 a.m. rather than 5:30? So that is from Alyssa. So with Alyssa, and if you're asking a question today and you're putting it into the little side note, could you please put how old your kiddies are? So like Alyssa asked that question, it's very different if that kid was 5 years old versus 2 years old. So let's just go on the fact that they are probably on the younger side and you're trying to get them to sleep a little bit longer. So the first thing I would ask is, how late is their last feed the previous night? So are you giving them a dream feed? Are they just eating at 7 o'clock and then going down for the night? Are you waking them up at midnight for a nighttime bottle and then putting them down? Are they getting up because their diaper's wet? Sometimes that happens and parents don't realize that that's the issue why your babies are getting up, that they're waking up so early because their diaper is just absolutely soaked. You could always change them. If it's 5 o'clock in the morning and you're having an excessive amount of problems, you could change them and then you could put them back to bed. You could change them, top them off a little bit and put them back to bed. But honestly, sometimes you just need to embrace that 5 a.m. and then just figure out what's going to happen during the day. Maybe they're sleeping too many hours during the day. Maybe their naps are just out of control. There's usually a reason why they're getting up early, and now you have to play super detective and you have to figure out exactly why that is happening, okay? So for a second, I just want to talk about Naturepedic for a minute. So Naturepedic is our sponsor, and they have been a partner of Twiniversity for quite some time now. And one of the reasons is that many moons ago, I ran into our friends at Naturepedic, and everybody always asks me, you know, what's more important, a conventional mattress, an organic mattress? Exactly what should I be buying for my kids? But of course, there is not a one size fits all. And I do believe that not only in the twin universe, but also in the typical universe. And so what happens with an organic mattress is that there are certain rules and regulations that organic companies have to follow. Now, traditionally, the mattress companies in general have to follow some rules. So they have to be, you know, flame retardant. They have to be they can't be made with certain chemicals. There should be of a certain firmness. There's some kind of rules that apply to all mattresses. But what Naturepedic has done is they said, hey, listen, we know that you guys are now looking for more and more organic products. So we're going to make an effort to make sure that we include as many items as possible in our mattresses and in our products, including their sleep covers, their pillows, and everything that are closest to organic, as closest to natural as possible. Now, like I've said before, there is no such thing as a 100% organic mattress, but it's what the company does and the process that they kind of go through to make sure that they're making the safest products available for you guys. So, for example, I'm just going to read you some things because, God forbid, I should actually remember. But Naturepedic goes out of their way to make sure that they don't include memory foam, polyurethane foam, no soybeans or bio-based foams, no latex, wool, or other commonly kind of allergic materials. So the items that they're using are going to be as non-reactive as possible. So even if you have children that have respiratory issues or skin issues, your safest bet is to go with an organic mattress and really eliminate all of the problems. Now, Julie's going to send you a link to their website also. And I just think it's fascinating how every single year, it's not even the rules and regulations change. It's how Naturepedic takes the initiative to make sure that when they reformulate their mattresses or pillows or covers, that they're always abiding by the utmost guidelines that you could possibly abide by. So for us, it was very important for us to work with a company that had such values and made sure that they were delivering the safest products to our babies. So that is something that I want to bring up. And honestly, if you cannot afford an organic mattress, and I'm telling you, they are a little bit on the pricey side. Well, let's just not pull any punches. They're expensive. Naturepedic also has this other company called Lullaby Earth. And Lullaby Earth, and Jewel, if you could send them a link to the Lullaby Earth mattress, it basically is made of all food grade materials. That's just going to not give you the price of an organic mattress, but it is going to make sure you're going to have the peace of mind knowing that your babies are the safest because this is all food grade material. So that is what I want to say about Naturepedic. We'll talk more about Naturepedic, and if you have specific questions about Naturepedic, I am sure that we could get those answered for you. So just shoot them off to the side. But I do want to thank them for allowing me the opportunity. They literally gave me the opportunity to be online with you guys today. So if you have any love for Naturepedic, let me see some thumbs up. Julie's also going to give you a link to their Facebook page. So if you could go over to their Facebook page after this chat, she'll remind you again at the end, after this chat, just go and just thank them for allowing me this time that I had with you. All right, so we're going to jump back to the questions. Okay, also, gentle reminder, they're giving us a great little prize package to give away. So Julie's going to give you a link to that. So we do have gifts from our friends at Naturepedic, of course, and that is going to be linked on the side as well. Okay, so Jewel, could you just link that to them? I love how I'm talking to Julie on my computer as well as here, as well as everywhere else. I love this. And I want to thank my whole team that is here today. And I said it yesterday, I think it was yesterday, but Twiniversity is not just me. We actually have an entire team that is behind the scenes that is that's just making this possible. I mean, honestly, how great is this that you guys could join? Not great because you're here with me, whatever. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying how great is it that you have a community that is exclusively twin parenting based that you could come and ask your questions for. And I'm glad that you guys are part of it because you are the reason why I created this 107 years ago. And don't I look good to be that old? All right. So, all right. Yes. Now, are any of you expecting or have new babies? Because we do speak a lot about sleep in our classes. And we do have an online class coming up. And I would love to give one of those away right now. If you would like to join us for an online class as our guest, we will be giving away a seat in our next online class. All you have to do is share this video. The reason why we're sharing is not necessarily to say, hey, listen, we want everybody to see this, but it's really the easiest way for us to see people who do want the opportunity to be able to join us for our online class. So even if you have young kids, the part 2 is for everything that happens the day after your kids are born. Jewel just put in a link. See, the wizard behind the Oz. Or the wizard behind the curtain, because this is Oz. I don't know where we are right now. But Julie just sent you a link, so please make sure that you check that out. And see, Stacy's expecting. I love that. Yeah, those are our Christmas babies. All right, so let's get back to our questions. Lisa said, my 13-month-old twins do not sleep through the night. They won't sleep in their cribs anymore since we moved into the house. They need to sleep with me or my husband. We finally got them out of the bed and sleeping on our floor, okay? We put them to sleep with a bottle at 8:39. Then they nap at my aunt's house who watches them while I work, but won't nap with me. How do I get them to sleep? All right, Lisa. Let's break it down, Lisa. We got a few things that are going on here, okay? Number 1, you moved. Number 2, where your kids are sleeping. Number 3, they're having an issue with naps as well as nighttime sleep. Number 4, they're sleeping in different locations. So there's actually, I don't know how many fingers that was, and I don't actually know if that was 4 things. But that was a lot of things going on. So the first thing that I want you to do, all right, you listening to me, Lee? Come on, we're going to make this happen. The first thing you have to do is establish a routine. Where are they sleeping? I don't think that it's a good idea for them to be sleeping on the floor in your bedroom. Just saying that. They should be sleeping in some kind of crib, right? So whether it's 1 crib or 2 cribs, but they should not be sleeping on a floor, number 1. Also, I don't know, they could be in a pack and play. I'm just going to, you said floor, that's all I could see now. So that's the first thing. You have to make sure that safety is a priority and that these kids are sleeping in a safe environment. What the problem with them sleeping on a floor is that they could get up in the middle of the night, they could get into cords, they could get their fingers caught in a drawer, they could pull a drawer out, knock a bookshelf down. Please, just see the horrible things happening. So, first thing is make sure they have a safe environment. Number 2, establish a sleep routine. I actually think that those kids are going to sleep on the later side of the universe. You said, did you say what time you're putting them to sleep? 8:39. I think that that's too late. I think if your kids are 13 months old, an ideal time to put them to sleep would be between 7 and 7:30. I don't think that they should be going to sleep any later than that, depending on what time they're getting up in the morning. So, starting, I don't know, I would say today, you need to start thinking about what you are going to do. What's going to be your sleep routine? What's going to be your ritual? And who is going to help you do this? Whether they're sleeping at your aunt's or whether they're sleeping at your house, they should make sure, yes, once again, that their little environments are safe, okay? Second thing, yes, Kimmy's giving us some tips on the side too over there. The second thing is create a sleep routine. Are you going to read them a book before you bring them into their room? Are you going to bring them into their room and sing them a song? But you really need to figure out, at 13 months, they could definitely sleep through the night, as long as your doctor says, of course, that it's okay. But you, excuse me, you really need to come up with some kind of routine that is going to be a ritual, not only for the babies, but for you. And you may want to consider crying it out. Now, I always give you the disclaimer. My word is not law. These are just suggestions that I am making to you. If you are not comfortable with getting your kids to cry it out, there are other things that you could do. But there are really only 3 different sleep methods. There is kind of gradual extinction, so they cry, but you go back in and go back out. There is extinction, and then there is the Sleep Lady Shuffle. For 13-month-olds, you might want to look into the Sleep Lady Shuffle, and we gave you the link to to Kim's website, Kim West's website, so you may want to go look into that and start applying that in your life sooner than later. But the first thing you have to do, Lee, is you got to get them off your floor and make sure that they are sleeping. But they can do it. They are capable of sleeping. So don't give up hope. Just stay positive, but come up, ideally, with the routine of what you'd like to have your kids. And Jewel, if you can on the side, we have quite a few articles on Twiniversity already that talk about starting a sleep routine, creating routines, getting your kids to sleep through the night. Julie's going to pop a few on the side. If any resonate with you, Lee, just comment on the one that you think works best for you, and then perhaps we could have a later discussion about different things that we could do if you find that those articles weren't really helpful. Okay? All right. So Jules coming in. So this one says I have 4-month-old babies, 4-month-old twins, and I usually get them in the crib by 10 o'clock, but they share a room, and one usually wakes up around 2 a.m. I feel he wakes his brother up. They have to share a room because we only have a 2-bedroom house. Some nights he wakes up twice a night, and it's frustrating. Okay, Stace, first, stop with the guilt of having them sleep in the same room. Even if you had a 9-bedroom house, I would actually still recommend that they sleep in the same room. So please don't feel bad about that. I actually recommend that most twins share a room for as long as possible. They do like being together, and you're not forcing them to be together. Odds are they're spending most of the day outside of their bedroom anyway, so they're really only sleeping in their room. But at this time, at 4 months old, I'm curious to know when they are waking up in the middle of the night, if you are feeding them, if you are changing them, because they're still kind of little. And I'm wondering if one of them is sleeping through the night, because you said sometimes he wakes his brother up, right? And I don't know why I'm assuming that they're boys, but I'm really curious. So if that's one of the most common problems with twins, right, is that we put our babies into bed and then they start falling asleep, and then maybe one gets up. And what do? Right? Because now we have the second child. What do? Do we wake the second one up? Do we let the second one sleep? Do we give him a bottle? Do we not give him a bottle? Do we change him? Do we not change? Like, really? This is what happens in the regular life of a twin parent. I often recommend, from experience and both personally and professionally, that if one is getting up consistently through the night, I actually would just wake the other one up and change. Since you might have a light on already in the room, you may just want to kind of bite the bullet, get the second one up, and just give him a little, top him off if he's up already, change his diaper especially, or change her diaper, and then put them back to bed. Now, you said that they were sharing a room, but you didn't tell me if they were sharing a crib. Did you? I don't think so. No, you said that they are sharing a room. If they are sharing a crib, are they hitting each other at what stage? Because I actually think that twins should sleep together. I'm a big advocate of co-sleeping. So I think that your kids should share a crib for as long as you are comfortable and as long as the doctor doesn't give you any reason for them to separate and sleep in separate beds, okay? Hey, there we go. So they have their own cribs. This is great. I love that Stacy's like literally on with us. Okay. So the other thing that I'm curious to know is where the cribs are placed. Are they comforted if they are closer to each other? And we do want to remind you, important, I'm getting on a soapbox for a second. We do want to remind you that your cribs should always be at least 3 feet apart from each other. Your cribs should not be touching each other. So when you have 2 cribs and 2 babies sleeping in each crib, they should not be butted up against each other. They should 100% be at least 3 feet apart. Julie is going to send you an article to a link in a few minutes because I'm kind of pulling this out of nowhere for her to find that. But we've had quite a bit of drama when it comes to having cribs right next to each other because your baby could actually get caught in between the 2 cribs if they were trying to get from one crib to the other. So no matter if they were just born yesterday or if they are, 3 years old and still sleeping in a crib, please make sure that the distance is safely apart. And we asked our friends at Delta Cribs who did recommend that 3 feet were good. All right, Stace, thank you. Very good. I feel better now knowing that they aren't close. So when they are sleeping, when one gets up, have you tried, look, Stace, if you can answer this, and I hope you don't mind me calling you Stace because we're friends now, but when you put them down and one is waking up, are you getting the second one up? Okay, so now I said, okay, so you're putting them in 2 a.m. But they share. So you're putting them at 10 p.m. I would actually put them in earlier. So I would say, if you were asking me, I would say they have to go to sleep between 7 and 8 o'clock, or maybe even 6:30 and 7:30. That would be for this age range. That would be a pretty ideal time. That's if they're waking up at 7 a.m. Okay. And if you don't have a copy of the book, listen, if you would like to win a copy of the book, I really just want to throw that out there. I would love to give away a copy of my book today because I feel like even if your kids are here, I know a lot of people are reading the book when they're expecting, but I am telling you guys, this information goes through the first year. I did not mess around when I wrote that book, and I wrote it for you. I didn't write it for them. I literally wrote it for you. It was written for every single twin parent on this country that has been through the insane craziness of having 2 babies at the same time. Okay, so Stacy says, no, I only get the other one up if I see he's really upset. Now, Stacy, if you don't wake him up, is he staying asleep, or do you have to just get up at a different time and get the other one up? Okay, wait, I didn't tell you how we were going to win the book. If you would like to win a copy of the book, just share this, okay? Share the feed. So if you want to win a seat in the class or a copy of the book, please, please, please just share this feed. Okay, yes. Oh, that's so sweet. So you're getting it from the library. Listen, it is available. Actually, it's available in more countries now. We're working on that, guys. But a good friend just got a copy of the book in South Africa, and I thought that that was pretty fantastic. So he usually falls back asleep, Stacey said. Well, what I would do is if he's waking up, if you want to give them, if you want to wake the other one up, do. If you don't. But I'm trying to think that I actually think that they're going to sleep a little too late. And then the dream feed should be occurring at 10 o'clock. But I would put them in earlier than later. And then see how the baby is doing that usually wakes up, how they do if they go to sleep earlier. Because what happens is from 10 to 1, that's not actually a really long time. So they shouldn't be getting up for really a bottle if you just put them in at 10 o'clock. So try to give them a little bit. Oh, Julie's telling me that you have to be sharing publicly. It has to be public when sharing the video, or she won't see it. Because sometimes people are sharing it privately or whatever. So please, Julie, could you just put that in the sidebar too? Thank you for my early birthday, guys. Tomorrow's my big day. You're distracting me. I don't want to think about it. All right, let's talk about this for 2 minutes. Tomorrow, I am going to be the big 4-0. Do I feel old? I don't unless I say it, but I feel pretty good about being 40. I got to tell you the truth. I feel like super old when it comes to like when I was little and I used to think about, oh, somebody was 40. I'd be like, oh, they're so old. But then I think the majority of my family lives well into their 80s. So yeah, I got still a hot minute here. So yes, so tomorrow is my big birthday. And yeah, I'm super, super stoked. But you see that movie, like, This Is 40? Yeah, This Is 40. After I finish this live feed, I will be going back to my kids' school where I will be putting on a luau this evening. The luau, the luau. And I always think of Grease too when I'm putting on my luau. All right, guys, we're talking about sleep, guys. Thank you for my birthday wishes. I want to help you guys. You guys help me by just being here with me and joining me today. It's helpful to me because we know that what we're doing here at Twiniversity is definitely working. So if you want to win a copy of the book or the class, make sure that you are sharing this publicly. All right. I want to give you some more sleep tips. Dum da da dum. Now, I also want you to make sure, right? So everybody's like, oh gosh, my kids aren't sleeping. They're waking up so much. Next time you go to the pediatrician, if you haven't asked this question before, ask your pediatrician, how many hours a night should your kids be sleeping? Okay? That is something that you need to ask because your kids may be sleeping too much and you may have unrealistic expectations on how much they could sleep. They may be sleeping too little and maybe that's the reason why they're not sleeping. It's because they are so wound up that they can't actually sleep. So next time you go to the pediatrician, I want you all to ask, how many hours of sleep should my kids be getting? Okay? Yes. 8-year-old son, 7-year-old daughter, 15-month-old boy, girl sleep. Oh, that's a lot of kids, Kayla. Good for you. Fantastic. 7 years and then you roll those dice again and ta-da! Look what happens. Bonus baby we got. So here, let's try the other thing. Now, we already talked about this once. If your kids are waking up, I want you to, thank you, Stacy. I want you to consider putting them to bed earlier. A lot of people think, that's crazy, Nat. You're just a crazy person. Well, this crazy person knows that research shows that babies who are overtired have a harder time falling and staying asleep. So you want to put them in early while they're still kind of drowsy, like we talked about at the beginning of the feed of looking for the sleep cues. So you want to put them in a little bit earlier. Okay? You know the tough thing about doing these live feeds is that, like, I have a set curriculum of things I want to talk about, and then we ask questions, and then you say things like happy birthday, and then the dog puts her feet in my face, and then my internet goes down. So there's always something. I'm telling you. It's the joy of live television or internets or whatever this is called, or the internet, as my son so lovingly calls it. I love him so much. So if your kids are waking up early, I do want you to try to put them in a little bit early. If your kids are waking up in the middle of the night, try put them in a little bit earlier. And if you're putting them in at 8:30, try to get them in at 8:15 tonight. And then if you see that something is working, put them in at 8 o'clock. Martha, welcome back. I'm sorry your internet went out. And if that's not working, put them in at 8, 7:45, 7:30. So you can get them on a better schedule, but you cannot just literally start, tomorrow if they got used to sleeping at some time. Ease them into a sleep routine, okay? Now, another thing you could do, and I asked Jewel about this, and I can't remember what Julie said, but you may want to try a reward chart. We talked a little bit earlier about having some positive reinforcement. This is definitely something that I think positive reinforcement definitely works better than yelling and punishment, and you'll get to that point in your life anyway. But there's reward charts for potty training, and there is reward charts for reading at school. There should be reward charts for staying in bed. Whether they're sleeping, whether they aren't, whether they're just laying there, you might want to consider, if you have toddlers that are having an issue staying in bed, you may want to consider creating a reward chart that is just for sleep. You don't necessarily want to turn into one of those parents that have 19 reward charts on their refrigerator. So just pick the one that is most important to you. And I think that sleep is super, super, super duper important, because not only is sleep beneficial to, them being healthy and them having their little minds rest, but I got to tell you the truth, guys. You need them to sleep too, because that's when your downtime occurs. The saddest day of my life, this is me being dramatic, by the way, one of the saddest, whatever, was when my kids started going to sleep at 9 o'clock. They're 11 now. They're like old kids. They should get jobs, and pretty soon they'll be moving out and getting married. But when they move their bedtime from 7:30 to 8, from 8 to 8:30, 8:30 to 9, it's just cutting into my downtime, guys, because I'm still getting up at the same time that they're getting up, but I feel like this weird need to stay up late. So after the kids go to bed, I'm like, I have to watch another 2 episodes of Shameless and play Disco Bees before I go to bed. Yeah. Is that the smartest thing to do? No. Oh, Julie gave you a reward chart. Thanks, Jewel. It's not the smartest thing, and you have to make sure that you are also setting an example of good sleep. You know, if you're reading your iPad before bed, then and your kids see that happening, hopefully they'll be sleeping before they see you fall asleep. But start thinking about creating a better nighttime ritual for yourself. Have some downtime before you go to bed. You know, there are so many different things that you could do to give yourself better sleep, like the ones that I was just telling you, right? So dark room, white noise, cool temperature, all things that we do, you could do for the kids too, okay? So make sure that you are setting a good sleep ritual for yourself as well. All right, there's so many other things that we could do. Like I wanted to talk about using a lovey today and, you know, getting them to sleep with a little stuffed animal or some kind of light on the ceiling that was part of the dream routine. The dream feed I wanted to talk about. Let them read, give them a book before they go to bed that's like a picture book, and you all have some reading time as a family. Know that every child is different. That's a big one when it comes to our twinnies. What happens is that we say, oh, we have twins, so if we do one for one, we should do one for the other. I always had kids, and I know a lot of us have kids, and most of my friends that have twins have one twin that just needs less sleep. The good thing about needing less sleep is it gives you an opportunity to spend more time with that one twinnie. Okay? So use that as an opportunity to basically get that kid up and say, hey, listen, you know what, let's read a book together, or we're going to spend this time to watch a little bit of Thomas together, even though, you know, the other kid may have hated Thomas. Okay, so Julie, you're telling me again that it has to be shared publicly. So, Julie, I'm reminding you. So use that as an opportunity to spend time with one kid. And really, I do want to thank our friends from Naturepedic today, and just thank you. Thank you for believing in Twiniversity and knowing that twin parents do have a choice, and that we are always looking for products that are well made and really are going to be safe for our kitties. So thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity to be here with our friends from Twiniversity. Is anybody sleeping on a Naturepedic mattress or a Naturepedic mattress cover or using their pillows? And you know that Naturepedic doesn't just make mattresses for kids. They actually make mattresses for adults as well. They make twin mattresses, queen mattresses, king mattresses. So if you're having issues with sleep, you know, you may want to consider getting a new mattress. Also, did you know that you're supposed to get a new mattress every 10 years? Did anybody know this, or was I literally the last one on the planet to know this? I have my mattress. You don't even want to know how long I have my mattress. The mattress that John and I are sleeping on right now, I'm thinking is 19 years old. The good thing is that it's perfectly contoured to our body. The bad thing is that it's a pillow top mattress and you can flip it. And also, if I do like rotate it, it's contoured to his body on his side and my body on my side. It's kind of wacky. But you really, really should be changing your mattress. Now, for you guys too, Naturepedic has mattress covers. So if you do not think that you could spring for an organic mattress, spring for the organic cover. The organic cover plus their breathable cover, which we've discussed many times before. And Julie could send you a link of when we discussed their cover before. It really, I know. Listen, Rashina, you're preaching to the choir, girl. I'm telling you, organic mattresses are very, very expensive, but there are some families who are just like, yes, that's what I want. But for you guys, what I want is if you want that, have the peace of mind and you could still get the organic cover, okay? Do you think a pillow will help them sleep? It depends on how old they are. You shouldn't be introducing pillows and covers, you know, for some time down the line. So for Kayla, I wish I knew how old your twinnies were. Yeah, Rashina, I'm asking Santa for a new mattress too. That's a great idea. It's what I should ask for my birthday. For my 40th birthday, I would like a new mattress. I'm actually hesitant to get a new mattress because I'm so comfortable on the one that I'm sleeping on right now. Guys, this is the last live feed I will be doing in my 30s. The next one that we do together, I will be an ancient lady of 40 years old. So it's kind of a little milestone for me. And I realize that all the things that you do in your life and things that you want, and I just want to tell you that if any of you are here and you're still with me and you're watching me and you've watched Twiniversity and there's something in your life that you've always wanted to do, I really want you to make that happen. This is kind of just like a little side note, has nothing to do with sleep. But I'm not saying like this isn't like an Oprah, live your dream kind of thing. But if there's something that you've always wanted to do, you've always wanted to learn to knit or learn a new language, or if you feel like you're not spending enough time with your parents that are still here, don't wait, all right? Don't wait, do it now. I always say, and I've lived by this motto for a very, very long time. There's two mottos that I live by. And I don't know if I say them out loud much, but the first one is, it's only too late if you don't start now. That goes for knitting, sleep training, bottle feeding, whatever. It's only too late if you don't start now, okay? So start today. Whatever you want to happen, whether it's getting your 20s to sleep through the night, we have tons of resources to make that happen. But it's not too late. Whether your kids are, you know, not born or 15 years old, you could still make things happen. And also in your life, if there's something that you really want to do, whether it's make your marriage better or paint your house or get a dog, whatever it is, make sure that you make it happen so that when you are turning the ripe old age of 40, that you have few regrets in your life. And the kids do. The kids monopolize an insane amount of time. And you could look back on it bitterly and say, oh my gosh, I spent hours sleep training and hours breastfeeding and whatever. I'm telling you, those are not going to be the regrets that you have in life, ever. You're never going to regret spending more time with your kids. It's a lot of work. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm the first person to tell you, holy crap, Ola, twins are a lot of work, but they are unbelievably worth it. Unbelievably worth it. I love my kids so much, I can't even begin to tell you. I can't. And I think about it on a daily basis. And like, I know it's a lot of work, but I want you to know that we are so lucky. We are so, so lucky that God, Mother Nature, Ra, whoever, whatever you believe in, gave us this gift of having these twinnies. And I'm telling you, I could think of, you know, the hours of therapy I was with them, or the amounts of days that I didn't take a shower because it was so busy. I'm telling you, I promise you that it is all worth it. Liz, I am so proud of you. This is exactly what I mean, that she's adopted her girls. That is exactly what I mean. Do not wait another moment. And yeah, just do what makes you happy. And I love you guys for joining me, and you are my family. And if you feel that there aren't people with you or you can't connect to other parents, this is where you belong. You belong here with Twiniversity, with me. I promise to take care of you. It is my vow to you to make sure that I provide the resources and information and everything that make you a better parent. I want you to be a better parent. And today we have to make sure that we thank Naturepedic. And I don't mean to turn into the Truman Show. I don't know if anybody saw that. But honestly, we're so lucky to have sponsors that I get to make my life all about you. So thank you very much to Naturepedic, and please make sure that you go over to their Facebook page and give them the same kind of love that you give me and that you give Twiniversity and you give your fellow twin parents. So I have to go back to a luau where I basically run an event. We have 107 kids coming tonight. So I will be donning a grass skirt and a coconut bra, but I will be wearing clothes on top of it because I don't want to traumatize everybody, because the boob region is a little National Geographic thanks to breastfeeding twins. Just saying, it's really bad down there. But thank you so much. I give hearts to you. I give thumbs up to you. I give thumbs up to Julie and Laura and Lauren and Kimmy and Carrie and, oh my God, and Stephanie and everybody else that's part of the Twiniversity team. Honestly, we wouldn't be here without you. And thank you again for all my birthday wishes. And please, I'm on the verge of tears myself. I don't know if it's just because tomorrow's my birthday. I don't know if it's just because you guys, you're making my dream come true. That's it. That's all. I got lucky to have kids. I got lucky to have a crazy dog and a good husband, and we're healthy. And I just love you guys. So thank you. I'm sorry. I never get emotional. Today is just that kind of day. All right, guys. Thank you once again. And I hope that your kitties have a better night sleeping. And thank you. Bye, guys.